Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'm so excited to share this with you today because my heart and soul went into these two pieces and I can't wait to show you how I did it. So first off, I mixed my resin and poured it into my mold, used my heat gun, and then I usually take a small stick and just kind of clean out the edges, and this helps to take the bubbles out because if I were to not do that, there would be little indents in the top. So that's something I always make sure I do. And I also pushed this tarot card down so many times to make sure there weren't any bubbles trapped underneath it, which will just cure it as a big hole at the end of the project. So I put in this tarot card and then this butterfly and just kind of started placing in things that I felt went with this card and the theme. And lately I've been pushing myself to be more vulnerable and put out art that I'm so proud of. Not that I'm not proud of everything I've put out, but just kind of bringing my visions to life and posting more of my own personal style and allowing myself to be really creatively free, silencing the voices that say no one's ever gonna buy this, no one's gonna like it, it's way too niche. But I've just decided to stop listening to those voices and create art that I'm extremely proud of and my heart and soul has gone into every step of this process. So now I'm moving on to my second dish. At the end, I'm going to be talking about the inspiration behind this, which I'm so excited to share. So stick around if you want to hear that when you see the final product. But I'm just going through the same process, taking the bubbles out, using the heat gun, making sure that I'm not going to have little indents in the final product. And now I'm just placing in the sticker, which was the whole inspiration behind the second dish. And then I'm also putting in these crystals I found that kind of reminded me of like Mars and what the rocks on Mars might look like. And I also put this stick over top just to make sure it was going to cure on the bottom and not leave a big kind of like rock sticking out. So yeah, then I added this Saturn and just kept adding things that I felt went with the inspiration. This eye is so cool. I found it at Michael's, a pack of like these different colored eyes, and I'm going to explain why I did that later. And of course, just adding more plants and flowers and things that I felt went with the theme and just popping bubbles periodically as I do that. 24 hours later, after this first clear coat had dried, I decided to go in with some gold pigment, and this is a powder pigment. At first, I just thought it was way too translucent and not what I really wanted, so I kept adding more resin, and I didn't record this part, but I did mix some more resin with more pigment just to make it look better. I was mixing it around and it just wasn't looking the way I wanted it to. Not that I exactly knew what I wanted, but here is an example of how unplanned things can end up making your piece even better, because I went in with the heat gun over top and it gave this pigment like a gorgeous sand dune textured look, which you're going to see at the end. So I'm really grateful that I stuck with it and it turned out even better than I imagined. When I saw the "We Want You" red alien sticker, I immediately knew that this red India ink had to go on the second layer of this piece, so I mixed that with my resin and poured it over top. Again, way too translucent, so I just mixed more pigment and resin and poured that on top as well. 24 hours after the second layer has cured, so now it's been 2 days total, I decided to take it out of the mold. I was clearly really struggling for some reason. And once they were both out of the mold, it was time to start sanding the piece, just taking off any excess resin, making the edges super smooth, and I only did that to the bottom. And here are the finished products. I love them so much. Here is that textured look I was talking about. I absolutely love this. I've never seen this happen with anything I've done before, and I just think it looks awesome, so I'm really happy with that. Now let's talk about this piece. The "We Want You" kind of reminded me of Uncle Sam, which is also a scene in my favorite movie, Across the Universe, which is all about, conscription and things like that. So the sticker just gave me that government vibe, which is also why I put in the eye. It reminded me of like Big Brother, 1984 by George Orwell, just kind of like always being watched, government's always watching you kind of thing. And yeah, then I also put crystals because I thought it reminded me of Mars, and aliens, which went with the theme. So obviously it's a bit of a joke, the "We Want You," but I just thought it kind of made a statement as well. So that is the inspiration behind that piece. thought you can use these trays as trinket dishes for jewelry, you can use it as a display piece, whatever your heart desires. And honestly, September for me was just a month of going for it, taking more risks, enrolling in acting classes despite my anxiety, posting videos of me singing, working on more covers and music. I just feel like I'm putting myself out there so much more, and these trays really represented that feeling of just posting what I want to post and believing in myself. So it's really special, and I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you're new. I do tons of different resin videos. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Bye.